Hi there, welcome to my channel Maths SL. I'm speaking Saqib Latif. I'm going to show you measurements grade 10. The topic is surface area and volume of the 3D shapes. Now must remember you have to watch my grade 9 videos as well. I uploaded in grade 9 videos about rectangular prism, triangular prism and cylinder as well for surface area and how to find the volume of these shapes. I'm going to show you grade 10 work from here. So must remember in grade 10 this cylinder, cone and hemisphere we're going to use a lot in combined shape, and obviously I'm going to show you about the sphere also, area and volume. First of all, I'm going to show you surface area and volume of the cylinder, cone and hemisphere and sphere. After that I will show you how to solve volume and surface area of combined shapes. So let's start first with cylinder. So we need to find the volume and surface area of cylinder. Now look here, this is the cylinder we have. Now this is the shape of the cylinder. Now top is circle, at the bottom is as well circle, and in the middle this one curved surface, that is a lateral surface area, that is a rectangle. Must remember when the lateral, this is the lateral surface area, curved surface of a cylinder is opened up and laid flat, it forms a rectangle. So this is a rectangle. You can see this is circle, top circle, bottom circle. The height of the cylinder h, so this is a rectangle we have now. And the height of the cylinder h becomes the width of the rectangle. So this is the width now, and this is, remember, this is the height. Height become width. The circumference of the circle be base. This is the circumference outside. This is the circumference of the circle. 2 pi r becomes the length of the rectangle. So this is the length of the rectangle, 2 pi r. In this case, this is the circumference of the cylinder and become length of rectangle 2 pi r. The area of the triangle, which is the lateral surface area of the cylinder, is calculated. Area is going to be equal to length multiply breadth or width. So the length we got 2 pi r, breadth or the width we got h. So 2 pi r h. So that's why this is the lateral surface area, that will be 2 pi r h. Don't forget. And the top is cylinder, top is circle, and the bottom is circle as well. The area of the circle is pi r square, and we got now 2 circle, so we're gonna say 2 pi r square. So surface area is formula gonna be 2 pi r square. So we got 2 circle, top and bottom, and the middle is lateral surface area plus 2 pi r h. So this is the lateral surface area. So even cold drink can, if you open up and lay it flat, it forms a rectangle. So this is a rectangle actually, and so the circumference of the circle 2 pi r become the length of rectangle. So this is the formula for the surface area of the cylinder, and the volume of the cylinder, the formula will be pi r square, which is the area of the base. The base is pi r square circle multiply height, which is h, so multiply h. So this is gonna be a volume of the cylinder. This is surface area of the cylinder. This is the volume of the cylinder. So these are the formula for the cylinder, must remember. So the volume of the cylinder pi r square h. So the pi I leave as is, and the pi value must remember is equal to 3,14, or you can say 22/7, or you can use the calculator. But if they ask you to solve till two decimal place, then you can solve the pi. Otherwise, sometime you have to give the answer in terms of pi. So the radius we have 5 square, and the height we got 12, multiply 12, and I use my calculator. The answer is 300 pi. And I open up the pi, use my calculator, 300, shift pi, and press SD button. Then you're gonna get the answer 942,48 units square. Whenever you cube. So whenever you uh, uh, whenever you give the answer for volume, you must write on top cube. So this is my final answer. So now I'm gonna find the TSA, total surface area, or you can say SA, surface area, same thing, is equal to 2 pi r square, because we got two circle, plus 2 pi RH, which is lateral surface area I explained to you earlier. So the 2 pi radius we got 5 square, plus 2 pi radius we got 5, and the height we got 12 times 12. I use my calculator. 50 pi plus 120 pi. Further simplify, answer gonna be 170 pi. I open up the pi, use my calculator, answer is 534,07 units square. Whenever you need to find the surface area, you must write on top square. So this is my final answer. So now I'm gonna find the volume and surface area of the cone. Now you must remember about the cone that on the side is a slant height. This is always slant height. You can sometimes they denote with S, or sometimes you can say H base S. Same thing, or you can say S. Now this is a perpendicular height, and this is the radius. So must remember, this is always gonna be a 90-degree here, the radius, and the straight till this corner, that is always that's why if you need to find this side, you're gonna use the Pythagoras. If you need to find the slant height, always use the Pythagoras. One of these side if it's missing, you have to use the Pythagoras, because this is gonna be 90-degree. So must remember, the slant height runs from the side of the base of the top of the cone. So this is slant height, and always we use the slant height to determine the surface area. So when you need to find the surface area, we use the slant height, and this height we use for the volume. So must remember, very important, perpendicular height we use for the volume, and slant height we use for the surface area. So now I can show you how to find the volume and the surface area of the cone. The top is a circle. This top is a circle, must remember, na? Top is a circle. So the top is a circle. Sometimes they give ups and down this cone. So must remember, cone always have one base, which is circle. Right. So we have perpendicular height 20 centimeter, and the radius we got 5 centimeter, slant height We don't have. I told you for the volume we're gonna use perpendicular height, and for surface area we're gonna use the slant height. So volume formula is 1 over 3 pi r square h. This is the formula of the cone volume formula. So 1 over 3 pi, radius we got 5 square, and the perpendicular height we got 20 multiply 20. So I'm gonna use my calculator to solve this one. So my answer will be 500 pi over 3 centimeter cube. You can leave the answer in pi, in terms of pi. If they ask you to solve for 2 decimal place, then you can open up the pi. Otherwise, this is my final answer. Now I need to find the surface area of the cone. The formula for the surface area, pi r square, because area of the base is pi r square, and the lateral surface area is pi r slant height. So you can say pi rs, same thing. Now must remember, this is the lateral surface area. Don't forget this one, we need in combined shape this one. So we don't have the slant height, so we need to find the slant height. So I'm going to use the Pythagoras to find the slant height. So this is 90 degree, always going to be 90 degree here. So I need to find the longer side. So two shorter side I must add. So the 5 square plus 20 square, and I use my calculator, 425, and therefore slant height gonna be 425. Square number I switch over this side, it becomes square root. I open up the square root, use my calculator, 5 times 17 square centimeter. I got the slant height now. Now I'm gonna substitute all of these value into the formula to find the total surface area. Pi radius I got 5 square, plus again pi radius I got 5, and the slant height I found now, that was 5 multiplied 17 square root. I'm gonna use my calculator. This become 25 pi, plus this side I'm gonna use the calculator, become 25 pi multiply 17 square root. Now I must add. So I use my calculator. Answer is gonna be 128 comma 08 pi and centimeter square, because surface area square. So this is my final answer. Now I need to find the volume and surface area of the sphere. Now you must remember this 21 centimeter is a radius, because from here till there. So if you go for fully one side of the circle till the other side of the circle, then it's going to be a diameter. Diameter you have to divide by 2, then you will find the radius. But this is the radius we have. The radius is given. So the volume of the sphere, if you need to find, the formula is 4 over 3 pi r cube. So we got 4 over 3 pi, radius we got 21 cube. I'm going to use my calculator. My answer is 12,348 pi, and this is centimeter. I'm going to say centimeter cube. So this is my final answer. Now the surface area I need to find. Surface area formula for the sphere is 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square. These formula they will provide for you. 4 pi r, we got 21. 21 square, I'm going to use my calculator. 1764 pi centimeter square, because surface area must write top square. On surface area must write top square. If they ask you give the answer correct to 2 decimal place, then you're going to open up the pi. Otherwise you leave the answer in terms of pi. Now I need to find the volume and surface area of hemisphere. The volume of the hemisphere, the formula is 2 over 3 pi r cube. 2 over 3 pi, radius we got 12 units, so it's going to be 12 cube. So my answer is 1152 pi, and this is units cube. So this is the volume of the hemisphere. So now we need to find the surface area of hemisphere. Surface area of hemisphere, the formula is 3 pi r square. 3 pi r square. Now must remember, this is very important. We're gonna use lateral surface area also in combined shape. I will show you how what is the curved section. So this is the curved section. So this is the curved section, lateral surface area. That will be always 2 pi r square. So the lateral surface area, or you can say curved section, lateral surface area or curved section, same thing. That will be 2 pi r square. And the flat section, the area of the flat section, this is the flat section. This is the flat section. This is always pi r square, because it's like a tennis ball, half of the tennis ball. So this is the circle. The area of the base is circle, so that will be always the flat section. Always this is gonna be a pi r square, because this is the area of the circle. So the pi r square plus 2 pi r square, and total if you add become 3 pi r square. That's why surface area is 3 pi r square, and the lateral surface area is 2 pi r square. So this one we need in combined shape. So we're gonna use this formula now. So 2 pi r square plus this pi r square become 3 pi r square. So the surface area become pi r square, which is this flat section, and then the curved section plus 2 pi r square, and this become 3 pi r square. That's why I write the formula 3 pi r square. So 3 pi and the 12 square. So I'm gonna use my calculator. 432 pi units square. This is my final answer. Now this is the question. Now combined shape, we got choose these 3 questions. So we need to determine the volume and the surface area of the each for each of the figures below. Now, so first I start with this one. This figure is a composite of a cone and a cylinder. So this is cylinder, or top is cone. Now to find the volume and we need to find the surface area. So first volume. So the radius is 5 and this is the height of the cylinder and this is the perpendicular height of the cone because this is 90 degree. Now, so we need to find the volume of this object. You can find the separate volume of this each shape and then you can add, or you can add one time. Either way the answer is going to be same. Must remember
Surface area outside the shape. Think of it as the amount of wrapping paper needed to cover the entire object. Volume inside the shape. Think of it as how much water a box can hold.
so we need to find the total volume. So we're going to use the sum of the cylinder volume and the cone's volume, and that will be the answer. So I start first. So volume of the cylinder. So the volume of the cylinder is going to be pi r square h. Pi from the formula. Radius we got 5 square, and the height we got 4, multiply 4. That give me 100 pi. Now I'm gonna find the volume of the cone. Volume of the cone, the formula says 1 over 3 pi r square h. So must remember we're gonna use the perpendicular height for volume. So 1 over 3 pi, radius we got 5 square, and the perpendicular height we got 12. So I use my calculator. 1 over 3 multiply 5 square multiply 12. My answer is 100. So 100 pi. So the volume total is equal to 100 pi. So this 100 pi plus this 100 pi become 200 pi. 200 pi, and this is centimeter cube. But he say give your answer correct to 2 decimal places, so I need to open up the pi. So 200 pi, I'm going to use calculator. 632,82 centimeter cube. This is my final answer. Now I need to find the surface area of this object. So the surface area formula gonna be is equal to, you cannot add the surface area of each of the solid as the combined surface area is less than the sum of their separate areas. So surface area, we're only going to use the lattice surface area here. When come to the combined shape, we always use the lattice surface area. So the base of the base is we have, now we can see, let me show you. So the base is circle. So the pi r square plus, so we have to make the formula now. Now this is the lattice surface area of the cylinder, that is 2 pi r h. 2 pi r h. Remember, lattice surface area of the cylinder, the formula is 2 pi r h. Now this formula, always lattice surface area, you have to make your own formula. They're not going to provide for you this one. But they will give you the formula single. They will give you whole formula for the shape. They will give you whole formula for the cylinder, cone and hemisphere, but lattice surface area you have to obtain yourself. So plus, now lattice surface area for the cone, that will be pi r s. So this is the formula we have now. So the area of the base is pi r square and plus lateral surface area for the cylinder 2 pi r h, and the lateral surface area of the cone is pi r s, or you can say h s, same thing. So we got the radius 5, so we have the cylinder height 4, and but we don't have the slant height for the cone. So this is the slant height, so we don't have the slant height that I need to find. Remember I told you the slant height runs from the side of the base to the top of the cone. So we need to find this one. This is a 90 degree, must remember. So we're going to use the Pythagoras here. So we need to find the longer side. So obviously, so first of all, I'm going to use the Pythagoras to find the slant height. 12 square plus 5 square. I use my calculator. This is going to be a 169. And therefore the s going to be 169. Square number, I switch over this side becomes square root. So answer is 13. 13 centimeter, this is slant height. Remember I told you for cone volume we're using the perpendicular height, which is this one, and for surface area we use the slant height, which is on the side, this one, which is 13 now. So therefore pi, and the r we got 5 square plus 2 pi r we got 5, and the height of the cylinder we got 4 plus pi, and the radius we got 5, and the slant height we found now, which is 13. Now I'm gonna further simplify. This become 25 pi plus this become 40 pi plus this becomes 65 pi, and I add them become 130 pi, and I use my calculator to solve for pi. Is 408,41 centimeter square. This is my final answer. Now the figure is a composite of hemisphere and a cone, this one. So this is a hemisphere, this is cone. So we need to find the volume and surface area of this object. So the volume, I told you, you can write separate, or you can and then you add, or you can combine one formula. You can write as a one formula. That's either way answer gonna be same. So the volume of the cone, the bottom is cone, you can start top or bottom, doesn't matter. So that's gonna be 1/3 pi r square h plus, must remember volume we don't change the formula, because
Volume inside shape, surface area outside shape. For surface area,
that we always modify the formula, let we use the only letter surface area. So the 1/3 pi r square h plus, and the hemisphere volume of the hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cube. Now 1/3 pi, and radius we got 7. This is the radius, 7 square, and the height. Now we need to find the height. We're going to use the Pythagoras. Must remember for the volume of the cone we use the perpendicular height. So the perpendicular height is this one. So we don't have, we also need to find. We got the slant height, but we don't have the perpendicular height. So let's find the first perpendicular height. So the h square is equal to slant height from the longer side minus the shorter side, 7 square, and that will give me 576. Therefore h gonna be 576 square root. The answer h will be 24. So the h is 24 here. So I need to find the volume of this shape now. So the volume formula gonna be volume is equal to first cone 1 over 3 pi r square h plus plus 2 over 3 pi r cube. This is for hemisphere. Now I substitute all of these values. 1 over 3 pi r, we got 7 square, h we found earlier 24, plus 12 over 3 pi r is 7 cube. I'm going to use my calculator to solve this one. So this is 392 pi plus 228,67 pi. I must add now. So my answer is 620,67 pi, and centimeter cube. This is my final answer. If they ask you to give the answer in 2 decimal place, then you have to open up the pi. If they ask you to give the answer in 2 decimal place, then you have to open up the pi. Otherwise, if they ask you to give the answer in terms of pi, then this is final answer. But now answer must be in till 2 decimal place, so I must open up the pi. So I open up the pi. So this is my final answer, 1949,89 centimeter cube. Now we need to find the total surface area or surface area, same thing. That I'm gonna have to modify the formula now. So I'm only gonna use the lateral surface area. So we got a cone here. So that's gonna be pi s plus lateral surface area for hemisphere is 2 pi r square. Remember earlier I told you. So lateral surface area for hemisphere 2 pi r square. Pi radius we got 7, multiply 7, slant height we got 25 plus 2 pi, radius we got 7 square. Now I'm gonna use my calculator. This will be 273 pi. I open up the pi. Answer will be 857,65 units square. Total surface area, you must write top square. This is my final answer. And so this is the final object. Need to find the volume and surface area of this shape. Must remember the figure is a composite of a hemisphere, a cylinder, and a cone. Hemisphere, this is a cylinder, and at the bottom is cone. Now, so the volume, for the volume formula, hemisphere we need a radius we have, and for cylinder we need height, we'll find here, and for the cone we need a perpendicular height we need to find here. So must remember, a radius we got 20, in the cone slant height we got 29, and the radius also gonna be 20, because if the radius is 20 here, all over every way the radius is 20, also radius is 20 here as well, and this is a 90 degree. Remember, this is the perpendicular height and this is the slant height, and for the volume we need a perpendicular height. I'm gonna find now. So the h square, longer side minus the shorter side, because this is the 29 is a hypotenuse, 29 square, because this 90 degree facing this side, minus 20 square. So my answer will be 441. Now I need to find the h. 441 square root. Square number I switch over this side becomes square root. So then my answer will be 21 centimeter. So this is my 21 centimeter. This is the perpendicular height. This one we need for the volume of the cone. So the height of the cylinder we need also. I can denote with a big letter H. So this I need here. I need this one. So but remember, this is the whole height of the object. So we're looking only the height of the cylinder, which this is the height of the cylinder. Now to find the height of the cylinder, so it's gonna be a total is 80 minus which we found now 21. Must remember this is 21 from here till here 21, so which means till here is 21 minus that 21 minus. Now till here is a cylinder, on top is hemisphere. So if the radius is 20 here, so this is the radius, and the top also the radius is gonna be same, hemisphere. So if this is 20, so the top also gonna be a 20. So the top also gonna be 20. So the radius is, so this, which means this side is gonna be a 20 from here till this side, top 20, and till here is 21, and on this side what is left, that is height of the cylinder. So the minus 20, the answer will be 39 centimeters. So this is going to be only 39 centimeters. 39. So now I got everything. Now I can find the volume. So the volume going to be equal to, I start with the cone. So we got the cone down. So the, or you can start from the top. Volume of the hemisphere 2 over 3 pi r cube plus, then is cylinder. So volume of the cylinder is pi r square. You can use big H or plus the cone at the bottom 1 over 3 pi r square h. This is a perpendicular height. Now 2 over 3 pi, radius we got 20, so the 20 cube plus pi, radius 20 square, and the h we got 39 now, plus 1 over 3 pi, radius we got 20 square, and the perpendicular height we find earlier, we found 21. This is the perpendicular height. Now I'm gonna use my calculator. This is gonna be a 16,000 over 3 pi plus 15,600 pi plus 2,800 pi. I use my calculator. Now you can see these are the like terms because pi. So I'm gonna add all of them. 71,200 over 3 pi, and I open up the pi, use my calculator. Answer will be 74,560 comma 47 centimeter cube. This is my final answer. Now I need to find the total surface area. So the total surface area, first I've got cone, hemisphere. You can start from bottom or tops, doesn't matter. Right. So I've got the uh, top hemisphere. So the lateral surface area of the hemisphere formula is 2 pi r square plus, if you know hemisphere, cylinder and cone, all the time they're rotating these three shapes, you will solve this question easily in grade 10. 2 pi r square plus, now the lateral surface area for the cylinder is 2 pi rh plus lateral surface area for cone is pi rs. You're only going to use the lateral surface area. You have to modify your own formula. Now, so everything we have, we're going to substitute into this formula. So 2 pi radius, we got 20 square plus 2 pi multiply radius multiply h height, which is 39. For the cylinder, we're using the same height, outside one, plus pi multiply 20 multiply slant height, which is 29. Now I'm gonna use the calculator. This is the slant height. One time I use the calculator, answer is 2940 pi. Now I'm gonna open up the pi. The answer gonna be 9236,28 centimeter square. This is my final answer. From here, I'm gonna show you some exam questions. So this is the first question. Must remember, they will give you the formula in the exam like this. So you need to figure out yourself which formula gonna be. Like this is area pi r square. Now the volume 4 over 3 pi r cube, and volume a h mean a is equal to pi r square. So you're gonna say pi r square h, etc. So for instance, volume is ah is given. So the a we got pi r square and h, like this. So in place of a, you're gonna substitute pi r square. Now we need to. The question says a solid shape is made by gluing a solid hemisphere, cylinder, and cone together as shown below. So this is hemisphere, this is cylinder, this is cone. So the first question he said the hemisphere, cylinder, and cone all have the same radius. What is their radius? Now you must remember in the diagram, this vertical dimension, this is 5. For the hemisphere section, this dimension represents the height of the hemisphere, which is equal to its radius. So the radius is gonna be 5, because if the earlier I showed you, so the radius all over is the length is equal. So the on top also is gonna be 5. So that's why the radius is 5. So the answer is radius is gonna be equal to 5 units. So this is the answer of the first question. Second question, he say calculate the total surface area of the solid. Now we need to find the total surface area. For total surface area hemisphere, we need 2 pi r square, which we have, and the lateral surface area for the cylinder also we got, and h we have 8. But here by the cone we don't have the slant height, so we need to find this slant height here. So we're looking this slant height. Now this is the length of the cone, so which means the radius is 5, all over the radius is 5. So we got the radius 5, and this is the perpendicular height, so which means that is we got 10. So this is straight height. So this one and this one, they are parallel to each other, so which means got 10. So the perpendicular height we got 10. So the slant height we're looking, we don't have the side height. So I'm gonna apply the Pythagoras here to find the slant height. We're looking a longer side, so the s square is equal to 2 shorter side. You must add 10 square plus 5 square. I use my calculator. So the answer gonna be a 125, and use my calculator. So 125 square root, answer gonna be 11 comma 18. So 11 comma 18 units. This is gonna be a slant height. So now I can use the formula for the total surface area. Total surface area is equal to, now I can start from the bottom or you can start from the top, hemisphere. So the lateral surface area for the hemisphere, the formula is 2 pi r square. Remember I told you only can use the lateral surface area. We're going to modify the formula. And for the cylinder, lateral surface area is 2 pi r h, plus for the cone is pi r s, equal to 2 pi, and the radius we got 5 square, plus 2 pi, radius is 5, and the height of the cylinder is 8, multiply 8 plus pi, radius we got 5, and the slant height we found now, which is 11 comma 18. So I use my calculator to solve this question. 50 pi plus 80 pi and plus 55 comma 9 pi. So I add up all of these, so the answer will be 185 comma 9 pi, you can say 90 or 9, same thing. Now I'm gonna open up the pi, the answer will be 584 comma 03 units square. So this is my final answer. Now the last question, quite interesting question. For a certain solid, right, circular cone, the radius r centimeter, perpendicular height of the
Apex mean top.
above the circular base is h centimeter, volume is 50 centimeter cube. If for this cone the radius is half and the perpendicular height is tripled, what will its new volume be? So we need to find the new volume. So the original volume is 50 centimeter cube, and then the new dimension gonna be, the radius must be half, and the height must be triple. So the height must be triple, so 3 term height, so the height must be triple. So the volume of original cone is 1/3 pi r square h, and they already give this volume is equal to 50. So this volume is given 50 centimeter cube. So the new volume now, new volume must be 1 over 3 pi, and the radius must be, he say half, so it must be 1 over 2 radius square. Radius must be half and the height must be triple, so height must be triple 3h. Now I need to modify this formula now. So 1 over 3 pi I'm gonna leave just like this, and this become multiply 1 over 4 r square and multiply 3h. Now we need to think out of the box. 1 over 3 pi r, so we got 1 over 3 pi, and this we got a 1 r here, and h, so there we got h. So in here 1 over 4 is in this formula, is extra, multiply, then this 3. Must remember only these two, and obviously yeah, r square we have, so only this 1 over 3 multiply 1 over 4 multiply 3, only this is the extra here, so the multiply 1 over 3 pi r square h, rest of the formula just like this, or you can substitute everything, the answer will still be the same. So this is gonna be a 3 over 4 and multiply 1 over 3 pi r square h is equal to 50 already, multiply 50, the answer will be 37,5 centimeter cube. So this is a new volume. This is my final answer. But remember, even you substitute all of these value here, the radius is 5 and the height is gonna be for the cone is 10. Must remember, we need a perpendicular height for the if you need to find the volume of the cone. So if you substitute all of these values, still you're gonna get the same answer, but I just modify here because I can see 1 over 3 pi r square h is gonna be exactly the same, is equal to 50 because already given 50, and then just 3 over 4 multiply 50. This is my final answer. Or if you don't understand this way, you can substitute place of r5 and place of h is going to be 10, and then you solve this question, the answer is going to be exactly the same. So this is my final answer. The question says the diagram below shows a cup with a volume of 117 pi centimeter cube and an inner diameter of 60 millimeter. Ignore the thickness of the cup. The first question says calculate the height of the cup. So first of all, convert units and find the radius. So the diameter we have 60 millimeter, and I need to convert him to centimeter and become 6 centimeter, because divided by 10 is going to be 6 centimeter. So therefore the radius will be 6 divided by 2, that will be 3 centimeter. Now use the volume formula to find the height. The volume of the cylinder, the formula is V is equal to pi r square h. Now we can find the height. So substitute all of these values. The volume is given. Volume is 117 pi centimeter cube is equal to pi. The radius we got 3 square and h we don't know. Further simplify, 117 pi centimeter cube is equal to 9 pi h. Now we need to find the h now. Our subject of the formula is h. Therefore, h gonna be equal to 117 pi divided by 9 pi. The answer will be pi and pi cancel. 117 divided by 9 is 13. So we have to convert into one conversion because the volume was centimeter cube. That's why the millimeter we convert into the centimeter. Now we have the h, which is 13 centimeters, and the radius we have 3 centimeters. Now I can solve further this question. Second question says calculate the total surface area of the water that touches the cup if the cup is 80% full with water. So the cup is only 80% full. Don't forget this one. So the height of the water now is going to be different now. So the height of the water is going to be now 80% multiply 13 because total is 13 but the 18% is full. So that will give me answer 10,4 centimeters. So this is the height of the water now. Now I can calculate the surface area for the 80% water. So the formula is surface area is equal to pi r square because only the bottom we have, this is the area of the base, and the top is open, so that's why we can't say 2 pi r square, only gonna be pi r square. The cylinder is open on top, so the plus 2 pi r h, this is the lateral surface area. Now I substitute all of these value. So the pi radius we got 3 square plus 2 pi, radius is 3 but the height is 10,4 now. So the height we're going to use this one now. So I'm going to use my calculator to solve this question. This is going to be 9 pi plus, this becomes 62,4 pi. So add them together becomes 71,4 pi centimeter square. So this is my final answer for this second question. This is another question in front of me. I'll show you how to solve this question. The question says the diagram below shows the cross section of a solid made up of a hemisphere placed on top of a right circular cone with the radius and slant height s. So this is a hemisphere and the bottom part is cone, and this is the slant height and this is the radius. The perpendicular height of the cone, which is this h, is 6,5 centimeters. So this is 6,5 centimeters. And the volume of the cone is 83,38 centimeters cube. So this is the volume of the cone, only for the cone. So this is the volume of the cone, formula is already given. Now the question says calculate correct to 2 decimal places. First, the radius of the cone. So must remember, you can't give the answer in terms of pi. Now you have to solve the pi. Use the given volume and height to find the radius. The formula for the volume of a cone is volume is equal to 1/3 pi r square h. Volume is already given 83,38 is equal to 1/3 pi and the radius we don't know, we need to find out, and the h is given 6,5 centimeter. Now, so I simplify this, become 2,17 pi r square is equal to 83,38. Now I need to solve for r here. 83,38 divided by 2,17 pi. Now I'm going to use my calculator. 12,23. This is my r square. Now I need to find the r. So square number switch over this side becomes square root. Therefore r is equal to 3,50 centimeter. I got the value of r. The radius is 3,50 centimeter. Now I must remember, sometimes they ask a variable of the formulas. I showed you in previous video about the cylinder, which you need to find the h. This is, I show you about the, now I'm busy with the cone, where you need to find the radius, and we're done. Now 7.2, he say the slant height of the cone, so we need to find the slant height. Now h we got 6,5, and this is 3,5 radius, so this is 90 degree. This is a perpendicular height. S square is equal to 2 shorter side, we need to find the longer side. So 3,50 square plus 6,5 square. I use my calculator. This is going to be 12,25 plus this become 42,25, and I must add them. It's going to be 54,50, and now I take the square root of this one, 50,50 square root, and now I need to find the value of s. I use my calculator. The answer is 7,38 centimeter. So I use my calculator. The answer is 7,38 centimeter. This is the slant height. Now this is the last question, 7.3. We need to find the surface area of the solid. So this is the radius, this is the perpendicular height, this is the slant height. So we need to find the surface area now. Now solid is made of a cone and a hemisphere. So the total surface area is curved surface area of the cone plus the curved surface area of the hemisphere. So the lateral surface area for the cone and the lateral surface area of the hemisphere. So we need to modify the formula. So it's gonna be, formula gonna be surface area is equal to hemisphere 2 pi r square, that is the lateral surface area for hemisphere, plus for the cone lateral surface area is pi s. So I'm going to substitute all of these values. 2 pi radius we got 3,5 square plus pi, and the radius we got 3,5, and this become 24,5 pi plus, I use my calculator, this become 25,83 pi. Further simplify, this becomes 50,33 pi. Now I can open up the pi. The answer is going to be 158,12 centimeter square. This is my fun answer. So this is the last question of my video, and this is what a nice question, exam type question, and this is a last year question. So have a look here. So the formula they will give it to you. You need to choose the correct formula. The question says the solid shown was made by drilling a right circular cylinder with a radius 2 centimeter. So this is the cylinder inside the rectangular prism, and the radius is 2 centimeters. Out of a solid right rectangular prism with dimension of 5 centimeters, So 5 centimeter, 6 centimeter, and 8 centimeter. So the first question is say, for the solid shown, calculate the volume, and the second question, total surface area. I'll show you how to solve this question. Volume and total surface area of this figure. So first of all, calculate the volume of the rectangular prism. The formula for the volume of a rectangular prism. So you remember L time width time height. So the volume formula for the rectangular prism will be, so all three sides you have to multiply. Length multiply width multiply height. So 1, 2, 3. All three sides you're gonna multiply. So 6 multiply 5 multiply 8, and the answer will be 240 centimeter cube. Now I'm going to calculate the volume of the cylinder. So volume of the cylinder formula is, this is for the rectangle, and the volume of the cylinder pi r square h. So we have now pi from the formula, the radius we got 2 square. Now the height is 8 centimeter. Have a look here, because this is the circle, and this part is the circumference of the cylinder. So this is 8. So this is the height, 8. So the height is 8. Now I'm gonna use my calculator. Answer is 32 pi centimeter cube. Now we need to calculate the volume of the remaining solid. So the volume of the remaining solid is the volume of the prism minus the volume of the drilled cylinder. So the volume of the solid is equal to volume of the prism, rectangular prism, which we got 240 centimeter cube, minus 32 pi centimeter cube. 240 minus, I need to open up the pi, 32 pi, that will be 100,53, and I use my calculator. Answer is 139,47 centimeter cube. This is my final answer. So this is my final answer. Must remember, cylinder is inside the rectangular prism, so we have to minus the volume of the cylinder from the volume of the rectangular prism, and then that is the volume of the
Solid.
cylinder, which is 139,47 centimeter cube. Now we need to find the total surface area of the solid. Must remember, this is a rectangular prism, and the cylinder is drilled inside the rectangular prism. When the cylinder is drilled through the prism, the two circle areas where the cylinder enters and exits are no longer part of the solid outer surface. So then this both is no longer part of the outer surface. They become internal boundaries that are replaced by the curved surface of the cylinder. Therefore, the area must be subtracted from the present surface areas. The radius of the cylinder is 2 centimeter. So must remember, area of these two circles have to subtract from the rectangular prism surface area. I'll show you how to solve this question. So the total surface area of rectangular prism, we need to first calculate that area. So must remember all three, one, two, three, all three sides we're going to utilize. So remember we have 6 rectangle here, top and bottom, front and back, right hand side and left hand side. So surface area of rectangular prism 2 multiply 6 times 5 plus. So we utilize these two sides. You can choose either side, the answer gonna be same. Now 5 and 8. 2 multiply 5 multiply 8 plus. So this done. Now we didn't use 6 and 8. So the 6 and 8 we're going to use now. 2 multiply 6 multiply 8. So then my answer will be 236 centimeter square. Now I'm gonna calculate the lateral surface area of the cylinder. That is gonna be 2 pi RH. Must remember this is the lateral surface area of the cylinder. So I'm gonna calculate this one. So the lateral surface area of the cylinder will be area of lateral, that will be 2 pi r h. So the 2 pi radius we got 2 multiply 2 and the height we got 8. Remember I told you that's the height 8. So my answer is 32 pi centimeter square. Now I need to calculate the area of these two circles. So the area of two circles, that will be equal to 2 pi r square. 2 multiply pi and the radius we got 2 square and my answer is 8 pi centimeter square. Now I'm going to calculate the total surface area of the remaining solid. So must remember you can write this formula one time, also you can calculate separately, same thing. So now we need to calculate the total surface area is equal to original prism surface area minus area of two circular holes plus lateral surface area of cylinder. So original prism surface area 236 minus area of two circles which is 8 pi plus lateral surface area of the cylinder which is 32 pi. This gives me 236 plus 24 pi. Now I use my calculator. The answer is 236 plus 236 plus 75 comma 40. 236 plus 75 comma 40 and I add, answer is 311 comma 40 centimeter square. So this is my final answer. The volume of a sphere with the radius is V. If the radius of the sphere is doubled, by what factor will the volume of the sphere increase? So first of all, sphere volume increase factor we need to find. Define the initial volume. The formula of the volume of a sphere is V is equal to 4 over 3 pi r cube. So the initial volume is going to be V1. I can denote with V1 4 over 3 pi r cube. Now we have to define the new volume with doubled radius. Now we need to find the new volume with the double radius. So the new radius is going to be so the R2, so the new radius is going to be 2R, double the initial radius. So the new volume will be, so I can say V2, that's going to be a 4 over 3 in the pi, but the radius is going to be 2R now. But remember, place of this R going to be 2R. So the 2R cube. So I use my, I'm going to simplify 4 over 3 pi 2R cube mean 8R cube. So now 4 over 3 pi 8R cube, and you can see this is a 4 over 3 pi R cube, and if I take out the 8 out, so I can write like this as well, 8 multiply 4 over 3 pi R cube. Is nothing wrong. Is nothing wrong because same thing. Now I can see from, now we can compare the volume 2 to volume 1. So volume 2, I'm going to pull over this question this side. Volume 2 is going to be equal to 8 times volume 1. If you 8 times volume 1, you can see the volume 1 is 4 over 3 pi R cube, and the volume 2 is 8 times 4 over 3 pi R cube. So the 8 times volume 1. So which means the volume increases by a factor of 8. So you're going to say the volume increase by a factor of 8. So the volume of the sphere will increase by a factor of 8. So this is my final answer. Please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any question, comment below. I will assist you. If you can revise again and again this video, you can solve any question about surface area and volume of grade 10. Thanks for watching.